Welcome to GameBreakers. My name is Thomas. I am here with Allison, Diamond, and David, and we are continuing A Bard's Tale, our 5th edition D&D game. When last we left our intrepid heroes, you had just trudged your way through an eventful day in the marshes of the Feywild. Foggy, marshy, soggy, laden with moss and fungus and strange forms of life, many of them hostile. You came upon evidence of invasion from underground by what you determined to be Fomorians, a type of Fey Dark giant, the Underdark of the Feywild. And you decided to press onward in your goal to deliver a token of affection to an old friend, the Darkling Unvile. Did I miss anything? Are we current?
You want to know what the token is?
We got great hair and Pixie with us. And we have great hair and Pixie with us, and balloon spore things that look like beholders and kind of confused everybody. It's great.
Yeah.
Yes. So Trella Goodmane, an Eladrin Eldritch Knight that serves the Fey Baronetess, for whom you are delivering this token, for a whole convoluted series of events that you can check out our previous episodes, because we got a game to play. So the camera pans in. As it is, we see far, far away the tiny, only barely visible form of Pinecone crossing the river back to report the invasion. The camera travels through the marshes with such limited visibility, goes above the tree line, and you can see pockets of giant heads occasionally poking above the tree line and the mist. And traveling through the swamp, the camera settles on a giant adamantine fortress planted in the muck, in which our heroes have just made camp.
Yes.
Trella Goodmane is with you, and she's helping you. She can take first watch. She knows what to listen for, and doesn't sleep much.
We've traveled a long ways so far.
Are you guys feeling all right? If you're not, if you seem to be having a hard time, I'm gonna use the opportunity to tell a story and use it as song of rest. Something soothing and lighthearted.
Right, good story after a long day.
Yeah, nothing grims. More like I'm drawing a blank on soothing and lighthearted stories. I'm sorry.
The longer you spend in the Feywild, the more you realize all the fairy tales are really dark.
Yeah, they're all about either abduction or murder.
Tell you the story of an adventuring sword and bagpipes and basically Brave Little Toaster, but our gear.
Right. Hammer, bow, bagpipes.
Yeah.
Trella pipes up after the tune. It's like, that's nice. You did you write that yourself? Seemed on the fly.
Yes, to both counts.
Got talent. It'll get you far in the Feywild if you stay.
I think that we have some allegiances back home, but, well, there's always the possibility of returning.
It seems that way. You don't seem to have come here on purpose. How did you show up here?
I'm just gonna pause for a second and wait to see if Stan or ClickClack are gonna answer that question.
Are we awake for this?
Yeah, it's like as you're setting up. I assume there's like a fire pit built into the fortress. Like you can set up amenities. I mean, it doesn't come with furniture.
When she mentions the possibility of staying, ClickClack shoots a glare at Struana that she can feel the physical force of.
So that's a no.
Like I keep setting up, but I'm making eye contact the entire time. until she, turns it down.
What's your hurry, if you don't mind me asking?
His house is on fire and his children are gone.
Oh. How long's that been going on?
Well, since before we got here, in whatever timeline this is at, but...
Yeah, it gets a little fuzzy. I understand. A lot of people get confused like you're confused.
Thomas, is it going to be what kind of check is it to see if I know about... Because we know about some time dilation stuff in the Feywild. Is there a roll to see if it goes the other direction or have enough knowledge to ask that question?
I would let you go Arcana or Religion.
You can go Arcana, and with a natural 20, that's 28.
Well,
so, I know things suddenly.
That'll do for that one. There's an amount of dilation from the point of entry that comes about at the point of exit, at the point of re-entry into the material plane. If you were to go from the Feywild to another plane and then do some weird plane walking, then it could get really weird. But if you're looking to get just back to the material plane, it's very random. But from the amount of time that you think it would have taken to sack the city, even if it had happened that moment, you're at least at somewhere around a month per hour. Maybe even years, depending on how it's going. And that could be shifted while you're here. That could happen from something like a wish spell or a very powerful archfey.
Ultimately, we're hoping that by completing these tasks, we can get the time dilation that we're experiencing adjusted in such a way that we can go back before the house is on fire.
Oh.
Or at least I'm hoping that.
Well, the Baronetess doesn't have that. She's not that big a deal. You'll have to work your way up the chain.
Who would be that big of a deal?
Who's that big of a deal? What?
Who would be that big of a deal?
Archfey of some form or another. The Baronetess is amongst the lowest ranked, and so commands the least power within the Feywild outside of her purview, her Duglimmer Vale, which is lovely, and I'm happy to serve there. I don't like politics, and she's not involved in much, aside from this stuff.
All right, that's not so bad. I hope. Yeah.
And she's not well connected. I have to tell you. I'm going to continue to help you through your quest, but she definitely doesn't have what you're looking for.
But that chrysanthemum could help us potentially get there.
That's true. That's true.
The stepping stone, more than a destination.
Well, by the time you get it, your house will certainly be gone.
As far as I can tell, it might already be in this timeline. And I'm just gonna like turn and look at ClickClack while still talking to Struana. You get that right?
Trella.
I should write these down. I'm gonna turn and look at ClickClack while talking to Trella and say, but there may be some other specific options that I have here.
He's not glaring at you anymore, he's glaring at nothing. Just like eyes cast down, still wide and intense, but just he's not looking at anything in particular. He's just.
Also, guys, there's wish spells here. If all else fails, we could find someone who could give us a wish.
Ah, and as a godly man, perhaps you'll find a priest here that can work you a miracle.
Are there followers of Mord in here, or are you just speaking of other religious folk?
There are those that craft here, and some that are tied with dwarven myths, dwarven dreams. The Korrid have a soft spot for dwarves and Moradin.
The what?
I don't know if you'd find a priest, but they might know where to find a dwarf who's retired into the Feywild.
What did she call them? The
Korrid.
Korrid.
Yay tall. She goes to about your head height, about yay tall, Struana. They grow precious metals out of their hair and are stout and like to mine things, and often tend to be tied to where dwarven communities are in the material plane. There's a lot of reflection between the two. It's just not quite the same.
Still close enough they'd potentially... A good thing to keep in mind.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I'm happy to help. Pinecone gave you his blessing, and so generally that means you're trustworthy.
Or at least it means if we're out to hurt someone, it's not you.
Yeah, probably. I remember he gave you the hand wave, so, But these two are good folk, and they vouch for you, so we'll take it so far. During the quiet points in the conversation, sometimes very far away, with that sort of sound dampening and refracting effect that happens in deep, heavy fog, you hear combat and sounds of weapons and crashing of trees, roars of giants.
Well, that's exciting. What's going on through the little eye slits in the side?
Nothing within sight. You do, if you're watching over a long period of time, you will definitely see one or two gas spores in little clusters, sort of traveling on the wind through the fog. Those fake beholder shapes just sort of waving through the fog. Occasionally, one will just kind of like against the side of the wall and just roll, and then get carried on the wind.
I am so concerned about those things. Oh my god. I don't like it at all.
From what I know of your group, you should be. We're prepared for them. She gestures to Stan. You are immune to the worst of what they have to offer, the disease that's carried in them, and also have the ability to heal your friends of it, right?
Yeah.
I assume you are that powerful a paladin. You seem quite competent. Respectable, even.
Yeah, I have a few spells that can aid us. Protection from Fae is one I feel might benefit my compatriots and I.
It may. It may. There are many of the more hostile creatures are steeped in the Feywild's energy. That should provide some amount of protection against them. There are also, we'll find inevitably some manner of unseelie Fey that may or may not be hostile. They certainly won't like me very much, but after tonight, I'll fit in a little better.
Why is that?
Oh, I am an Eladrin. This is my summer look. Tomorrow you get to see winter.
Who's the so each of these, the summer and winter realms have like they have a court made of the various archfey. Who's the sort of head in each of these areas? What does the chessboard look like?
There are two queens. The summer queen, Titania. She is the queen of light and fire. Her opposite of the unseelie court is run by the queen of air and darkness. Conflict is mostly cult, non-violent. There are skirmishes, treaties, border crossings and raids, and harsh words and sabers rattled and poison in the dark. But it's what provides the thrill, right?
Woo! Something for everyone.
And illicit romance. And she looks over at the token you're carrying, which is strapped to the back of ClickClack's. Yeah.
Lovely.
Your
Why?
ottoman.
Why is it illicit?
Oh, romance. It's boy, I can't think of a play off the top of my head in the material plane that's like Romeo and Juliet, but she pops that off. It's you know, it's
like the Lion King 2.
Yeah. Only it's more like the Harlequin romance version of Romeo and Juliet.
The director's cut of Lion King 2.
It's considered tawdry. Although sometimes it's the way alliances are made. But in this case, the subject of her affection is inherently powerless in this realm and he's basically a commoner.
In this realm or in her realm?
In the Feywild. He's a darkling. They're cursed.
Tell me about that. I don't understand.
Everybody knows that.
Ah!
The cause of the curse is forgotten, but you're right. Everyone knows it. Here, anyway. The Darklings are out of favor with the Feywild itself, and the Queen's own personal curse. The smallish ones must stay to the dark. Should they see sunlight, they will age. They don't die of it, but they become old, decrepit. Unvila has gone through a ritual they've created to overcome that aspect of the curse, but still the Feywild will not accept their control. They cannot be given a title, because with the title comes with it the ability to command the Feywild. And if the Feywild doesn't recognize your title, then you don't have it.
I gotta say, nothing here has been quite so interesting as the cause of the curse is forgotten. Like she
Well,
just
you
perked up
asked
like,
why
oh,
it
really?
was so taboo, and that is the reason. Not just that he serves the Unseelie court, because he has in the past served Seelie lords as well, but his status as a Darkling makes him persona non grata.
We met him before.
Oh?
Briefly going to tell her about meeting him in the Jinns at the Jinns party, and him assisting us with battling Boronor, but then he poofed. Not why he helped us, just that he agreed to. We were able to convince him to.
I know that historically, long ago, he has occasionally rebelled against his chains, but he has been so bound by oath for certainly as long as I've heard stories from my grandmother. The tales of the master assassin, sort of a boogeyman for Seelie children. David, what is
that? This is Di.
Blame Diamond.
Okay.
Don't blame Diamond. Okay, you can blame Diamond. We're used to it. I think that we owe him at this point. He got wherever he is now helping us, and I don't think it was by choice. So,
are you certain it's a good idea you approach the renowned assassin whose downfall you caused lifetime ago? I mean,
she's got a point. I'm just saying, out of game.
Like Struana appears to consider, and then goes, "Yeah, makes a good story."
Great. At the very least, I'll be there to be the one that tells it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find a compelling reason for him to forgive you.
I don't think it's a matter of forgiveness. I mean, he chose to be there. It went poorly for him, but ultimately we succeeded because of him, and now we're here to, we have an opportunity to rectify that situation. I feel like it's the thing to do. But if we can't, but it may not be in our power to help in any way. As I am unfamiliar. Right now, we're returning to Brock.
How long ago for you guys did this all happen for you fine material plane linear time dwellers?
Would that have been about 2 months? I think. Does that sound about correct?
Yeah. I would be able to give you the exact amount of time.
So we'll guess, and then he'll say that, and we'll go, "Oh yeah, that's correct."
Yeah, about 6.
Without looking up, ClickClack says 2 months, 3 days.
And you're spot on.
Yeah.
At least up to the point where you enter the Feywild, and then it gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Must be very upsetting.
Right, but time as it's ticked on your clocks, that's spot on. Trella just kind of smirks behind her hand. She's like, it has been a lot longer for him. I wonder how this will go. I can't possibly.
His sense of time has got to be different too. Our sense of time versus that of a dragon is going to be. I'm going to feel 3 months more than the dragon is.
It's true. And he is fully Fey. He is a creature formed of the stuff of the Feywild, even though it won't recognize him. So, you're right. They really don't. I mean, I experience time as a sort of elf that's native here, much differently than you do, and they are comparative to me as I am to you in that. What a conundrum. And that's just assuming we live through the giants.
Yeah, about that. Good lord. I mean, what have we successfully taken down at this point? We might be able to take on some giants. Can we hamstring them? Is that an option?
Yeah.
I am going to ask her about what she knows about giants in the form of, so I read a story once. It says this. They defeated the giant in this way. Does that jive with your understanding of how giants work?
Well, I don't think a tailor could do it. But
especially one that's a mouse.
They are surmountable. I have downed a few. They are durable, they are dangerous, they hit very hard, and Fomorians specifically will curse you. They have an evil eye. Sometimes one or two evil eyes. They're misshapen and malformed and have eyes in strange places and limbs all askew.
Would I know how different they are from the ones in our reality?
Give me a...
Giant is one of my favorite enemies.
History. Oh, give me a history check with advantage. I'll let that roll.
I'm using the D20 that Diamond gifted me.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's also very, very weird. You spin it like a top. And because the sound is apparently weird as hell, I'm rolling it in the dice box from my home game.
Oh, excellent.
17. Wait,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, before it sounded like you were running your fingernail over a zip tie.
Yeah, it's ridged, so to make it stop faster.
So 17 is...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
17 on the dice.
With advantage of a 19 plus what? What am I adding?
History.
History. Oh, God.
Or just intelligence.
21.
Nice. Yes. Short answer, yes. These are a type of giant native to the Feywild. They are kind of a Fey giant, and much like they mirrored the giants' rise, rule, and fall in the material plane, much like other things do. Except when they fell all the way underground, in their questing grasp for power and wealth. In their greed, they were twisted and malformed and cast to the Fey Dark, which is underneath the Feywild. And there they steep, festering in their hatred of those of the victors and inheritors of what they consider theirs. They're quite mad. Both angry and in that only see life as an object to be, that sort of violent psychopathic madness.
Crash.
Yeah, we're toys. We are toys to the Fomorians. Is how is Trella's input into the conversation.
So are we going to be more Toy Story or more Small Soldiers? How do you guys want to address this?
They are surmountable. ClickClack, you have a lot of specialized knowledge. You seem to. I would suggest you make a lot of the calls when it comes to combat. I've fought them, and I know that I can withstand a few. But the numbers we've seen worry me. I won't lie to you. That is a small army. That is an assault force. And I think they may overwhelm this marsh and the lord of it.
How many do you think there are?
ClickClack's best guess was like 300, right?
That sounds familiar.
A lot of giants.
Wait, what was it? I'm sorry.
About 300.
300.
And at this point, again, from far away during the conversation, you hear like the sound of a treant dying and giants chortling and doing violence far away.
Well, we don't have to kill all of them. We just have to kill the ones that are away.
There is this, I mean, we can sort of dodge some of them, potentially.
Yeah, we just have to kill the ones that are away. We don't have to kill all 300. Right? We're trying to get somewhere.
You're right.
You just see the occasional mouse, not all the mice.
The forces of the Vicomte of this area will certainly mobilize. That may include your friend, which may make him difficult to find. I will take you to Unvala's tower, but if he's been deployed against the giants, I could be anywhere. But we can track him from there, right?
Yes, I also get the sense that I have the persistent sense that we are supposed to meet up with him. So I project that finding him will not be the most difficult of the tasks ahead of us. Not that it's a bad idea to plan for all eventualities.
What do you know that I don't know? She asks you pointedly.
I'm the protagonist. Yeah, I'm the protagonist.
You're the heroes of the story. Strangely, that's not the most unreasonable logic here in the Feywild. Being a hero makes things happen.
The characters, we're gonna be fine.
Just know that the end of many heroic stories is, and then the hero fell valiantly.
I mean, that sounds like the end to like a story about someone who wishes they were Stan.
Well, that's the stuff of epics. It's only romances and comedies that end with happily ever after, and you don't want to be the butt of jokes.
True, but if we're in an epic, then we're only in like the second book. Man,
Mort has more planned for me. I don't think the story ends here either.
Like, so, depending on how her perception is, Struana is saying all this and does believe it to a degree, but also is like not saying the thing that she knows.
She kind of like she ponders a little bit, notices you not really say anything, but can't really divine anything from it, and goes, "Huh. Well, then it must be that this is the point where you guys get to watch me die like a hero."
ClickClack doesn't say anything. He's just quietly sharpening arrows.
Get some sleep. I'll keep watch up in the top ramparts.
For the reduced hit points of my compatriots here, I keep forgetting to look up what can be done about that. So, dear GM, what can be done about that?
Not a lot.
Not right now.
Weeks of rest. Recuperation. The recuperation downtime action. That's the easiest one. I will at the break look up the thing that did it to you. The what? If somebody wants to look at it while they don't have screen time, it's the White's special attack, WIGHT. But long story short, rest, long hours of rest, and more rest.
Well, okay.
Potentially high-level cleric spells like Greater Restoration.
Is this the life drain?
Yeah.
This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest.
That got updated with the recuperation rules. Yeah, it's a long rest now. Yeah, I'm using that variant.
Okay.
Or that.
He made it.
Rule.
He made it worse.
It's true.
Good.
Plus, they had levels. Yeah, they also weren't the basic white.
White life drain.
So, for the rest, I'm gonna ask about the spores and just confirm my understanding of the gas spores. That if after they poof, they fall on nothing alive, they will just die, or they will start growing.
They'll carry a certain amount on the wind, but usually the gas spore will either hostilely approach something living or be attacked by something that fears its shape. So,
I'm just saying, they keep approaching sort of this. If I lit them on fire while we're in this, will that be a problem?
I wouldn't suggest it. If a breeze were to blow in the window, there's no real reward to it. That, and they are as dangerous to the giants as they are to us.
And ClickClack are giants? Not that intelligent.
I want to say no, but
the more powerful ones are pretty clever. Like you get cloud and storm and fire giants. You know, your hill giants aren't so clever, and Cyclops is not so trolls not so clever.
It depends on the variation.
Right. These giants with your natural 20, they're not dumb.
I don't think we can count on their stupidity.
Okay.
And they're Fomorian, right? I got that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're no geniuses, but they're...
Well, I'm used to not grading people on my curve.
Do you have time to build a giant automaton that we can just stealth through, right? Like walk through the forest?
I have the time. I don't have the materials.
Yeah.
Nothing you can build out of mud? Fueled by peat? We can't.
Does your personality change when you put on your winter clothes?
Maybe a little. Maybe
I didn't
a little.
say clothes. Something else.
Maybe a little less cheerful, a little more sassy. I won't lie. But
do you want to take the skin out for a spin one last time?
This is definitely Team Sassy Pants.
Suggestedly.
All right, Stan, make a persuasion check. You've gained her respect. The Feywild is not a particularly prudish area. She's not insulted by the past at this moment.
About time somebody in this party got laid.
I know, I'm the worst bard ever. It's playing with so many terrible people over the years. That, yeah.
Oh,
there's only so many times.
I have an edit for you when we're on break.
I am going to put a pin in that until, either it's clear that you're going to die, and then, on the way out. I'll happy to be the girl you get on your last day. But we have a lot to do tomorrow.
Can I
And you should.
help Stan's persuasion?
Are you gonna teamwork him?
I'm gonna wingman a little bit.
Right. Oh, okay. You're gonna throw some backhanded compliments about Stan's stamina in there. That'll give Stan advantage on the roll.
Okay. I got a 15 on my roll. I don't know if I should add anything to it, but enough that Stan can try to roll again.
Do you want to give him inspiration?
16.
Not for that. We might die tomorrow. Oh wait, we're gonna have a long rest, aren't we? Okay,
Yeah.
then yeah. Okay. Here, like I can even do some bedroom music.
Oh, wait a minute. On bagpipe?
It's not good bedroom music.
Sorry. And actually, they're short pipes. They sound better, but I had to say that.
They sound better, but
I wouldn't call it romantic.
Maybe it's more like it's romantic from the distance where ClickClack and I will be and leave you two alone.
Right? I mean, it is. What did you get on your inspiration? What was the?
It's a 1, or is that something I roll? 1d4, right?
The D10, I believe now, right?
Yeah. You actually get a D10 addition.
Right.
You get to add a D10. Roll a 10.
So 21 in total. I got a 5 on that inspiration.
yeah.
I could join you on the roof.
I'm a good wingman. That's what that is.
All right, but keep your armor on. And she climbs up the stairways.
He looks
Just your
you,
clang,
God.
clang.
It is an adamant by the way. It is
We
like
just sort of like a wave.
she also keeps her elven chain armor on, and it's sort of like a long coat type. So you sweep it open, fade to black, but it's fade to black in the room with the rest of the party, like the vibrations rhythmically through the tower.
So, ClickClack now that they're gone.
Not forgotten.
The I absolutely want her to help us through whatever's coming. She has a lot of knowledge about this place. She's going to be fantastically helpful in battle. We want her to not die, you know. But she serves someone on the light summer side. The person who brought us here is an archfey from the Fey Dark. Am I using that right, Thomas? My brain.
From what you know, this archfey has been banished, and is the reason and that's tied up in the whole Darkling curse thing.
Okay.
He's not actually in the plane.
Okay. The archfey that brought us here somehow has been banished from here. Part of what I need to do here is open a door that I suspect lets him out, but also makes him owe us a big ass fucking favor. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
First allotment
Violence, I'm sure. Anyway,
that owes us a enormous favor, which hopefully can get us sent back to before the invasion. That is what I'm banking on. And right now it is the best bet we've got. Unless you know of another one. Also, if I don't end up doing this, we're going to end up back here, or at least I definitely am.
That is new information.
Yes, that's why. But
And you've known him long enough to know that this is him processing that data, and you just got to give him a minute. Because of who he is, he has to
Fit into
figure.
all the places.
No, it's him figuring out every variable and trying to predict outcomes.
So I'm just waiting and watching expectantly.
What do you
Clang,
need to do?
clang, 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 clang.
Oh, I've tuned that out. It's
Neither of us are bothered by this for completely different reasons.
I'm used to rhythmic metallic noises. This doesn't faze me.
It's just day in the shop.
I've helped Stan Wingman a couple of times at this point. It's like,
Right,
all right.
but adamantine on adamantine is a very special sound.
It's like, that's cool. This is
What-
more
what-
important.
What do you need me to do besides the usual shooting things?
Right now, it's just the usual shooting things and helping us progress as far as we can in doing this. Like, I know that I have to open a door. That's also why I know we're supposed to meet Unvala, why we're gonna get the next step in the story. He's trying to make us be able to have access to what we need to open that door. And then he'll both be out and owe us, both of which are good things to get back to before the time. Also, if we go back now, we're as good as dead, essentially. That's the argument. So it's no good to have someone working for you if they're dead.
So our only option right now, our only option right now counts on us being able to time travel.
Unless you know of another one? Yeah, that's what I got.
Everything I know about this place is academic, and by design, everything here changes all the time.
But the powers of still an archfey, still has enormous powers. Through banishment, brought all of us here.
He banished us to the Feywild.
No, he's presently banished from the Feywild.
You said
And
through
still-
banishment brought us here?
Yes. That suggests an amount of power that should be able to assist with time travel. Like, as far as I can tell from what Pretty Hair has said, I'll write down names someday.
We'll just pretend you said the right name.
Works.
Theater of the mind.
From what she said, like, our next best option is essentially like working our way up through the other court until we get to somebody powerful enough that we can do a favor for, who will then or killing 300 giants, maybe. But since we don't have an agreement, like, the thing about fairies, the thing about Fae that I understand is that they'll agree to a thing, and then that's the agreement, but you can't go, hey, I did the thing for you, do something for me. That's a little harder. That's a little harder.
You need to make the contract first.
Yeah.
When you suggested 300 giants, he immediately started computing if that's possible. Like running the odds like a gambler.
Just looking at the number of arrows in his quiver, like.
Yeah.
And then he's thinking about the trees outside and how he could make more and
like what I know you two can do and the potential of our friend here, and
There's a metal on metal grinding sound from the ramparts. You see sparks falling off one side, past one of the windows.
it's like someone's welding upstairs.
A little bit.
By the way, if there's sparks when you're welding, you're doing it wrong.
It's true. More like a grinder. That's
Yeah.
Anyway.
Every time they show a welder in a movie, there's sparks flying. It's like, well, then they're shitty at their job.
this
Looks good on
how
camera.
This is how social workers and people who do CPR always appear in movies. Really badly.
If they're
like
good
in
at their
some of
job, there's no plot.
Right? I've seen a good social worker once, and that was in a documentary, and she got murdered.
That's what you get.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
So,
What?
unless you guys are good, was there more of that scene? Did you have more?
Wait, no, I was headed somewhere. So if our only pseudo plan involves time travel, then does it matter how long this takes?
So I expect the answer is both yes and no. I suspect that no, technically no, but it's probably harder to send someone further back.
Right, but right.
Also, Thomas, I see you shaking your head, but like, I also want this done with alacrity.
No, it's since we got here, ClickClack has been like a dog waiting to get let outside.
Yeah.
Just like, we're done now? Okay, gone. And
I
he's
think
trying to
that
figure out if he still needs to be that person.
I think that the consistent reminders that we need to keep moving are a good idea. If nothing
Well,
else,
like
that's
that
going
anyway.
to. But I'm telling him anyway that keeping us on task is probably important just due to the nature of where we are. I don't think you need to be as
But
emotionally invested about it. But
I don't need to be urgent like someone whose house is on fire.
Yeah, because either we get back in before it's happened, or we get back after it's gone. It's your house is either nothing's attacked your house yet, or your house is gone. Either way, your house is no longer on fire.
You have a Schrodinger's house.
I was gonna say he references the fantasy equivalent of Schrodinger, but you don't get the reference.
Yeah, there's a whole gnome with a life quest attached to the to the potentiality of like a machine that is both destroyed and not destroyed, and then in a techno magical space, it doesn't translate well outside.
It was a machine in a box for some reason.
That much took like 20 minutes to lay out in Gnomish.
Yeah. Okay. But we have to fight these giants.
Yeah. Also, if it's worth anything, I'm really glad you're alive. And I'm sorry that you got dragged into this.
Thank you.
I was gonna just go do this without you guys. Guess he was impatient.
He says thank you like someone you can tell is still learning courtesy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see subtitles of what ClickClack is thinking, and a lot of times it's like brackets, insert appropriate social script here.
Yeah.
Copy paste.
What did I see Struana do in this similar situation?
WWSD. So
we should get bracelets made.
What?
Oh, the 90s are back. It wouldn't be weird.
It'd be kind of weird.
Oh, this is my friend's D&D character?
No, I mean if you wear it.
Nothing I wear is weird.
Because all of it's weird.
I buy it.
It's Allison's rule is if nothing matches, everything matches.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
By the same token, if everything is weird, nothing is weird, because weird is normal.
Yeah, man.
Well, normal doesn't exist anyway.
Setting on a dryer.
Turn and look at my dryer.
So, can I get a watch order?
Are the other
I'll
two
take first
currently
watch.
on watch?
I was
Uh,
like the middle of the night.
if Stan, if you want to volunteer for first watch, then
I'm
Trella will go for last watch, fourth watch.
Wait, so is there rendezvous happening before watches start?
Well, one of the two of them was gonna do first watch. By the way, Stan, can I get a dice roll and just add a stat that seems appropriate to what we'll call Stan's style? Are you a Constitution sort or charisma?
Acrobatics.
Strength.
Acrobatics.
Strength.
There's no skill proficiency.
Athletics.
Just a straight stat. Straight stat.
Yeah, we're just being a peanut gallery. It's fun.
Hey,
It's what you do when your friend's in the next room. You
Sleight
call
of hand.
Yeah, I wish I had better decks. I think,
college history.
but I'll go with I guess I'll go with charisma. I'd go with strength, but this doesn't seem. I don't know.
She's gonna go with
All the
strength.
clanging. I mean,
Yeah, I'll say yeah. She's.
Everyone
strong.
remembers the
Right.
robot on Robot Chicken, right? Okay. Good, because that's the sound
and
effect that's
watching
playing in my
machine.
head.
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20.
Yeah, you did.
It is only because of the power granted to her by her magical belt that she can keep up with you. She rolled a 1. I'll let you in the fade to black decide
Oh,
what that means to Stan. A giant bonus, and you can't critically fail a check. So just
I've had dates like that.
it's got a plus sign, so that takes her to a 10.
Oh God, me too.
Don't know what that means to Stan, but in the morning, everybody seems pleased.
Great.
Right? Nothing awkward.
The real
And also
question.
in the morning,
Oh,
by the time. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Struana.
No.
Also in the morning, by the time you've all woken up, she is now kind of goth Trella Goodman. It's still gray hair, but now it's long and wavy, dark, like raven black, cut at weird angles, and she has like very almost makeup pale skin with very dark marks around her eyes. She's gone goth. Her armor is now that was like red and orange fire colored leaves is now more like black and dark greens and purples. Very like looks more like poisonous.
ClickClack turns to Stan and says, "What did you two do last night?"
He starts giving you a good description.
I'm just gonna watch this from I'm just like sipping the equivalent of coffee and going, this is, the eating popcorn gif. I'm an eating popcorn gif, like, okay.
I withdraw the question.
I was just answering the question like I know you like to answer questions. So I thought I was being helpful.
See?
Right. It's just biology, ClickClack, she says. Life, all of that interact, the circle of life, creation, death, rot, renewal, all of that.
Right.
At least
ClickClack looks like an Amish guy that just got a microwave explained to him.
Breakfast?
Yes, please.
So, how do we travel?
I assume the local leads. I would follow right behind because Ranger.
If Stan makes an elk, I'm on Stan's elk, and we're telling dirty limericks.
About Stan.
We're making up some limericks. It's gonna be great. What we're doing. For the record, I have no skill in making up limericks, so y'all are gonna have to use your imaginations. I can't even do one when I try.
Well, then as you break camp and make out from the fortress, we will take a quick break right about the time that Struana, in her closeness to Stan and on the elk, realizes that there weren't baths in the adamantine fortress, and Stan has been baking in that armor for a while. Is well basted. So smells worse than the celestial elk.
I put perfume in my beard so that I can smell that instead.
Well played. Mark off the gold. All right. And on that note, as the camera fades out to your travels, we see again ahead pockets of combat and giants running up against glowing things and all manner of strangeness, plants moving to attack and assassin vines, feverishly choking at ankles.
As we're traveling, I just want to add, as we're traveling, I always have my bow out. Like, just one hand on the reins, one hand is holding it, just because who knows what the hell is going to come out next.
Trella is weapons out. You are all ready as you march into a foggy, marshy battlefield, which we will continue in a moment. If you like what you see, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. If you want to see more, check out our Patreon. This is GameBreakers. Have a good game.